Okay, we are back for another video. This is the spoiler review for Magazine Dreams. Where the fuck do I start? Okay, so the film started with him doing poses, and we get a little bit of context. Again, this spoiler review would be out of order. So we know that he works at a grocery store, and he happens to like this girl, and the interactions between the two, it's like it's a little awkward at first. He seems very like shy, and he's mission driven. He wants to meet this guy and his idol. I think his name is Bren. I'm sorry. I should have did research beforehand, but hey, I just left the theater and I just really just want to talk about it, right? So he wants to see his icon. This is motivation and everything. So, he's struggling with a lot of things in the backdrop, as far as just getting in shape for competition nationals. He ends up placing sixth, and there's just some key things that I'm not gonna. You know what? I hate when people do a spoiler review or whatnot and they go beat by beat. I'm just gonna talk about key points in the films that stood out to me, and then we're just gonna go from there, right? Point or scene number one, that diner scene, and when he was so passionate about bodybuilding and what he was doing, and then the girl was just checked out, and then he didn't pick up on it, right? Um, Even in my personal experience, I think I've been on both sides of that. I can be talking, and I know someone checks out, and then I just like, I'm just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna waste my energy, and I just stop. And then I've also been on this other side of people that just talk and they don't know when to stop. Like I remember I went on this date with this girl and she talked nothing about horses, and I'm intrigued by it a little bit because she's passionate about it, but she just wouldn't stop. Like it's just like, oh my gosh, like she couldn't pick up on social cues and stuff. But I appreciate his passion, and but he just was a little tone deaf, right? Like you had it in the bag, bro. You had it, but he fumbled. He fumbled hard. And then the girl, she didn't know how to really react because like he just gave some red flags. Like I mean, granted he was nervous at first, but he fumbled because he didn't really have the social cues. He was just so mission driven and ambitious, and this is what his goal was. And to not be privy to the world of that and what he's interested in is like, what's wrong with you, right? So I identify a little bit of, not as extreme as I see displayed in the film, but it's like I'm into horror. I'm into criminology and why people do the things that they do. And so for when a person tells me that they don't really mess with that, I tend to like, I'm a little taken back by it. And but I'm not saying I'm not interested in like learning different things, right? But especially if like for a partner. So like when he was like, how do you not know who do, right? For me with horror is like that way. So if I meet a woman, she could be the most amazing woman in the world, and she tells me like, ill, like I like you, but I don't like the goth shit, like horror. She's fucking lying because that person's isn't for me. You can't say that you fuck with me but don't care about the shit that I care about. But granted, she don't know what I care about. But I think it's best to just meet people and then just like be you. And if you guys fuck with each other, you fuck with each other. If you don't, you don't, right? You tell them a little bit, but don't tell them too much because then they try to make themselves like the version of you that they think you'll like. But that's a tangent, right? That scene was intense. And then he ends up eating by himself. And I've noticed in the film is like when things go bad for him, he likes to eat a lot of junk food because he has to maintain his physique. And a way of punishing himself is eating terribly, right? Then you also have the thing with the paint. Oh my gosh, this was like an overarching theme within this film is people only seeing his actions, but they're not seeing what other people have done to him, right? Granted, you know, if I play devil advocate, but it's also I am realizing that it's victim blaming, is when he got jumped, he didn't tell anybody. He rushed to nationals and tried to perform and stuff, and then he ended up fainting, right? And I was like, damn. But why did he get beat up? He got beat up because his father had wanted the house to be painted. The paint was thinning, so it wasn't like a nice coat. If you painted anything in your life, you know you gotta do a couple coatings. Like even you look at my nails, this isn't just one coat; it's a couple of coats. So when they didn't go back to the house and they didn't do the paintings, and he's like, you know, it's not my problem. They're very rude to him, and then he mastered energy. He's like, I'm talking to you like very nicely. Why are you being an asshole? So he goes over there to the shop. He breaks up the windows and stuff. He destroys the paint shop and whatever. Gets into a car crash, but he recovers. He gets healed, and then he's on his way to nationals. And then these fuckers, they come and they drag him out the car. Now, you can say it was karma, right? You're not wrong in that, but I'm also realizing the fact the way that they talk to him, the way that they treat him, and he was constantly warning people like, "Why are you talking to me this way?" Right? And yeah, he got beat up, and then he flunked in what he was supposed to do as far as bodybuilding, and then from there it just went like self-destructive, right? And so he encounters them separately, and then you get something that was very dark within the film, and that's like the subplot of the potential mass shooting. When I tell you the black people in the theater were like, no, don't do it, don't. Ooh, ooh, ooh! I was clutching my pearls. I did not want to see this happen. I was terrified. Like, no, don't. I was, I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. And I don't care who sees this film and be like, oh, that shit was predictable. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It's not fucking predictable. And I'll take a step further. You're not gonna tell me you saw the film and you wasn't on your edge of the seat every time you thought he was gonna do it. He had every reason to do it in certain instances. Not I wouldn't say every reason, but there were so many inclinations that he was about to do it, but he didn't do it, right? And I was trying to figure out like why didn't he even do it? Because he lost a girl, he was abused by his idol, then he got jumped by these people, and then the police brutality on the back end. But then you can say like, oh, but look at his actions. Yes, we look at his action, but we're told from his viewpoint, and it's not like unprovoked. But in the midst of that, the counselor was still talking to him. It's like, hey, you need to find people that care about you, people that are your support system, right? And in the midst of that, he had his grandfather, and I'm like, wow, like that scene when he was in the kitchen and just crying into his grandfather's arms was just so beautiful. It's like, you may not have what you want, you may not have many, but as long as you just have that one person, man, it can really mean the world to some people. It means the world to me. And so it made me just think about like, who is that one person? I don't think I have necessarily one person, you know. I apologize to whoever's watching this video and you're like, damn, I fucking talk with him and I'm not that one person that he goes to and everything. Like, no. I just don't have one person that I feel like I can confide with. I mean, I do take therapy, I can confide with in therapy, but I think like just being social enough, have enough connection with some people that I'm able to feel validated in my experience and feel important, right? But he literally only had one person, the world against him, but his grandpa was like, he's like, I'm proud of you. Like, there were just ad-libs and affirmations that he gave, and I think above all that prevented him from literally crashing out, because like, even the quote Killua from Hunter x Hunter is like, if no one loves you, no one at all, the world is against you, is my love good enough for you? Right? And wow, that was, and then he realized in order to leave a mark on the world, he didn't need to do a mass shooting. He didn't need the validation from employment, that girl, the sex worker, or even the judge or whatever, from this fucking Deltoids. I'm gonna be looking at Deltoids after this, but just that one person, right? Who is that one person for you, right? And if you're similar to me, and don't have that one person, what keeps you going and motivated, right? And again, it's not to say that there's not people that care about me and there's not people I care about, but there's not just like one person I'm just like everything about, you know? I do value my parents though. Like they've been solid as a fucking rock. Like when I really need to have someone to talk to, my parents are there. And I truly feel I can tell them anything. I love them. I love them dearly. Um, yeah, but that's my spoiler review. I'm just picking out some scenes that I fuck with a lot. But yeah, if you like the video, please subscribe, leave a like. But yeah, I just felt so much, and I just needed to get that out. Right. All right. You take care, and as always, adios on me.